Hello, welcome to Magic. My name is Richard. Today I am going to be going over how you can use Magic's Quick Start demo application and implement account abstraction via AlchemyKit SDK. The purpose of today's video is not to go over what is account abstraction. We assume that you know that before watching this video. We also, or I should say I assume you know that. And I assume that you understand React.js because we will be going over some code today. I'm also going to assume you have a Magic account and you do or you can create an Alchemy account. It's pretty simple. So let's just jump straight into it, you guys. I'm going to, well, first go over this guide here. Let me just give you a quick explanation on this guide. Link below, but this Alchemy account abstraction guide goes over how you can use their SDK, implement it into Magic's SDK, so that your users can have a smart account wallet. If you go through this entire guide, you will notice that it's going to be using certain dependencies that are out of date at this point. We created this 6 weeks ago and it's already out of date. So we're going to re-update this, but this video will be out sooner. If it's updated, then this video is out of date already. But this video will go over how to take our quick start demo and implement the latest versions, because it's not on 1.16, it's on 2.8 or something like that. Same thing with AlchemyKit. So I won't be going over this guide in detail because some of this is outdated because of the breaking changes that were introduced by the latest updates. So to the dashboard. Here you can copy these 5 lines, enter the CLI command into your terminal, and you get this. Okay, so I'm gonna log in and show you. Logging in. If you've never seen this before, that means you've never played with like Quick Start, and that's okay. You just copy and paste those 5 lines, you'll get this app running locally. I'm going to check my email inbox and I'll get the 6-digit OTP. It'll log me in, and you'll get a wallet, an EOA wallet, and you'll have 0 balance. You're not gonna have any balance in there. This is just because I've been playing with this app, and so I've already preloaded it. And you'll see that you can send some crypto out. There's some Magic SDK methods. But the code, which I have up here, the repo, it's using, Magic SDK. It's got Web3.js. And this is our quick start as it is today. I didn't make any changes to this, okay? You can go inside and check it out. But Magic provider, this is where Magic's created. It's being passed around the app. Right, then you can send the transaction, the send transaction card, and the user info card, the wallet method card. This is the UI stuff that you're seeing here, right? So the send transaction cards down here, user info cards here, blah blah blah. And I'm not going to go over the whole quick start, but download it, play with it. It's a good starting point from which you can start making changes to it. But we are going to be implementing Alchemy's AccountKit SDK, specifically modular accounts. And I'm not going to regurgitate everything that Alchemy has in their docs here, but modular account is a 4337 smart account, right? And you can implement this on your app, and it's cool because you can add in other plugins, 6900 plugins. Go over the documentation. I won't be going over all of it, but they have here on the getting started that there are 2 different ways of doing this. Either using this or, and the way I'm going to implement it with Magic is to install these dependencies. And if you're familiar with Veeam, you would understand that Veeam is a Ethereum JavaScript library as well, just like Web3. And so to keep things simple, because I want to just look at AlchemyKit's documentation, I'm going to be using Veeam. That means I have to get out of Web3.js on the Magic Quick Start. And so today's video will be going over how to refactor Magic's Quick Start demo to use Veeam, and only Veeam, and then building in the smart account capability, okay? I have this open in a different window, so I'm gonna close this now. Veeam, just letting you know, this is a Ethereum JavaScript library. I like it. I don't have a whole lot of experience with it compared to Web3.js or Ethers, but it's pretty hot and the documentation was actually pretty easy to go through. So take a look at this. There's one call out I'll make. If you're coming from Web3.js or Ethers.js, you're used to the provider or the signer. Veeam has the exact same concept, but the name they name it client, like public client or wallet client. Wallet client, being like the signer. So just keep that in mind as I'm going through the code here. And of course, have a Alchemy account set up. Create an app. Created one for Sepolia for the purposes of creating the account abstraction application and get the API key. And we don't have to come back here. Let's go to the code. So first things first, the .env, that's set. Okay, that's set when you scaffolded the application. The magic provider here, this is where we're going to make a lot of changes. And the reason for that is because if you just look up Web3, right, it's in magic provider, it's in send transaction, and it's in user info card. So we're going to have to like rip out Web3 and put in Veeam. So let's start here. Okay, we're going to start here. We're going to start by removing this, and we'll go through and systematically just remove all Web3 JS stuff. By the way, this is your first time into the quick start demo. This is where magic's being created. This is just the magic provider where magic is instantiated and then passed throughout the application. That's all it is. And then you're creating, a Web3 instance and setting both magic and Web3 to state. Okay, I'm just going to remove that and I'm going to replace it with Veeam. Get rid of that as well. Okay, so we're starting clean here. Magic provider does not have any Ethereum JavaScript library instance in here, so we're going to start with adding in Veeam. So import all of this stuff. You are going to get, or I got it from Veeam's docs. So that's where I'm getting all that from Veeam. And then also I'm pulling in the Sepolia chain from Veeam as well. I'm getting all this from Veeam's docs. And of course, I didn't install it yet. So let's go ahead and do that. Boom, npm on Veeam. Okay, and 2810. And because I want to remove install. Okay, cool. All right, back to the provider. So we're here. We'll get back to the typing in a bit. And what I want to do here is set two state setters, one for the public client and one for the wallet client. So we're going to do wallet client, set wallet client, use state. We're pulling in the type wallet client. Pretty good. All right. Const public client, set public client. Wow. Why am I even making this video? Whatever this AI thing is really good. Okay, so here, magic is instantiated. We're passing that into the magic state setter. And here I also want to create a wallet client. And we're going to use the create wallet client method. And in here we're going to pass in the chain, Sepolia, and we're going to pass in, is it transport? And this is the wallet client. So we're going to pass in the RPC URL. So HTTP, and we're passing in the RPC URL that we're also passing into magic, right? So I can just reuse this function and it will return the exact same thing. Just to walk you through, what is get network URL in utils network get network URL? Just passes back, returns the RPC URL that we're using here. You can replace that with your own URL and just use that function around. All right, now wallet connect, or not wallet connect. Set wallet client to wallet client, then public client. Same thing, except here we're not going to pass in an RPC URL. We're actually going to be passing in a custom, and in custom we're going to be using magic, the instance, and the RPC provider that's provided by magic. And I may have done it the other way. You're going to want this here, and you're going to want custom here, because the public client is simply the provider that you will use to query the blockchain. Okay, so that's why we're doing that. Whereas the wallet client, that's like the signer, right? And so you're going to want to use Magic's RPC provider here. And set wallet client, and we're also going to set public client. Okay, public client. Okay, great. Then once that's set, we will pass these down. Public client, pass these dependencies. Thank you, and the type. So here, public client is of type public client or null, and wallet client. Cool. Same thing here and here. All right, just like that, Magic provider is complete, and we're passing it out. Great. Now what we're going to want to do is create another folder in components, and we'll name this Alchemy because we need to create a hook where we're doing the same thing for the smart account, right? The smart account also needs their own client. And so here, let's create a hook, use Alchemy provider X, and in here, this is where all the Alchemy account kit SDK stuff comes into play. Okay, check out their docs, but I will walk you through it. First, we're gonna import all the stuff that we need. Okay, so in here, I know that we're gonna need all the good React stuff. Use callback and use memo. All right. Now, I'm also going to want to bring in Magic from the Magic provider. Also going to want to bring in import. Oh, I didn't install the Alchemy stuff. Yep, I did not bring it in. So let's bring it all in first. So we're going to do npmi Alchemy a core and Alchemy a Alchemy. All right, installing that. Two dependencies there, Alchemy and core. All right. So here I'm going to import type smart account client. We're going to bring in smart account signer, wallet client signer, and the chain. I'll bring this all in from Alchemy, boom, boom, and next up, import, create modular. Great, that's all good. Keep doing it for me. Create modular account Alchemy client. Yes. This was core. Oops. Okay, and then import. No, that's it. Yeah, that's it. Okay, great. So why is this wiggly here? Why? Okay, sorry guys. Squiggly stopped me and it's in red. So, all right. So it's trying to write everything for me, and I guess we can just call it a day here. Not sure if this is. We're gonna walk through it. Don't worry about it. I'm not gonna call it a day. Okay. So let's do export const. Use Alchemy provider. And so first, let's bring in Magic and wallet client from Magic. Pretty good. We're also going to want to let's set chain as Sepolia. Bringing in Magic. Why you do this? Cannot find Magic provider. Yeah, something was a little off there. Magic provider. Okay. Odd. All right, and then this is what we want to send out of this provider. So we'll name it smart client. Set smart client, and I'm okay with that. Yeah. Okay. First, what we want to do is create the signer, the Magic signer. We'll call it the Magic signer here. This is going to be the smart account signer, and we'll use the memo. What are we doing here? Smart account, smart account signer, or defined. Okay, and in here, what we're gonna want to do is if there's a wallet client, right? Because the EOA needs to be initialized. So if no wallet client, return. Otherwise, let's return new wallet client signer. And in here, we're passing in the wallet client and name it magic. In here, we're going to pass in the wallet client dependency. All right, so now we've set up the magic signer. So this smart account signer, which I've named magic signer, is essentially letting you pass in the wallet client from Veeam that is the signer of the EOA, okay? And that's what magic signer is. And what we're going to do now is create or connect to smart contract account. And let's pass it in this callback. And in here, what are we going to do? Well, the magic signer has to exist, right? Magic should also exist. So if no magic signer or no magic, return. Otherwise, let's create the client that we're going to hold the state. So await, create modular. Okay, and in there we're going to pass in a few things. Those things. Chain. We're going to pass in signer. We're going to pass in the API key. And the API key is the Alchemy API key that I was telling you about earlier. So let's pull this, copy, and there we go. Let's set smart client and be helpful, please. Chain magic, there we go. Okay. All right, perfect. Now with this, let's actually call it use effect and thank you. Well, before that's called, I want to make sure if the user is actually logged. And when I say user, I mean the magic user, right? The EOA wallet. Is the EOA wallet there, right? Magic, not magic signer. Magic user is logged in. Is logged in is a magic SDK method, and what it does is it returns true or false, essentially, like, is the magic user logged in? Okay, if the user is logged in with a valid magic session, it'll return true. If it returns false, that means the magic user has not logged in or the session is just not valid right now. Okay, so in here, this is not magic signer, it's magic.user that is logged in, and I brought it in. So what is going on here? There you go. If and down here they want connect to smart contract and magic. Okay, great. So on use effect, this will be called magic signer will be passed into connect to smart contract account. The smart contract account, the smart contract client will be set to state, and then smart client will be returned. Nice. And so we've created the hook for use Alchemy provider, and we'll use this when we need to actually send a user operation. So we won't get to that until we get to like an actual send transaction refactoring here. So magic provider is done and set. Use Alchemy provider is done. We're done with this. And you'll notice that there's still Web3 in the user info card and the send transaction card. And so that means we can send transaction and the balance is going to be off here. It won't display. The address you're looking at right now is of the EOA wallet, the magic wallet. And so what we want to do is in this card, we want to display both the EOA wallet and the smart contract account wallet and the balances of both. And we'll do that first. And then we want to create two cards here. One card's already created for us, but one card for the send an EOA transaction to test that out. And then the send a smart contract account transaction to test that out. So we can have two different send transaction demonstrations. So let's do that. All right. Where's the user info card first? And let's get rid of some of this stuff. Otherwise I cannot continue. All right. So we're moving Web3 out. In its place, we are going to bring in the public client and the wallet client. Okay, so public client, wallet client. Okay, we'll bring it in the trio from the Magic provider. And let's think about this for a second. Inside user info card, we wanted to display both the EOA and the smart contract balance and address. So these use states here, these use states are just like, there's only one address and balance. And so we're gonna wanna refactor this to be like const. Well, let's make this one the EOA balance. And here we're gonna set an EOA balance. And down here we'll do the exact same thing, but we'll do it for the smart contract account. Same thing. Okay, so they both start with triple dots. The copy that is refreshing, we'll keep this as is for now. And the public address that's being pulled is the EOA from the local storage, because it must be set there somehow, somewhere in this repo. We're gonna name this the EOA public address. And I don't think we need a setter. And we'll do one more for the const. There we go, thank you. We'll get the setter, set smart contract, public address. And there's nothing in get storage for this one. So this we'll leave like that. So we'll get the balance, and I want to get the balances, plural. So let's name this get balances. The first is get the EOA balance. So let's check for if EOA public address and not Web3, but we're simply querying. So let's do public client, then the balance, and we will await the get balance from Veeam, and that's going to be public client dot get balance. Let's go to docs real quick. Veeam docs. It's going to be like so with the address. EOA public address. Great. As 0x string. Okay. And if that balance is there, then set balance, I should say set EOA balance at 0. If it's not 0, do that. And we don't have Web3, so we're gonna get rid of this in place of a Veeam utility method. I believe it's format ether. Format ether. Yes. And thank you, autofill. Okay. So this is good. And we're going to redo this for the smart account as well. And for this one, we'll do the same thing, public client, because we're simply querying from the blockchain. Very tempting to use this. Let's see. Const balance, await public client, get balance, address, SCA public address as 0 string. Yeah, great. That's freaking fantastic. This is EOA balance. This is SCA balance. Let's just do EOA balance because It's nicer to read and we're a lot more intentional. Boom, boom. All right, and over here we'll do SCA balance. Pass this into here, here, and here. Okay. So the get balances is good. We'll just touch up the dependencies. Thank you. And get balances will now be passed to what I'm calling the refresh. The get balances. And in use effect, before I call refresh, I want Web3, but I want public client. This is going to be public client. I'm not using wallet client yet. So let's go back to that. All right, so set balance. On use effect, set balance. Calling that. Oh, of the EOA. So this is set EOA balance. I'm also doing the same thing for set SCA balance. Okay. Then disconnect, we'll keep that as is, and then copy. Oh, the copy function. If I click copy, I actually want to copy the SCA balance. Or not the balance, the SCA public address. So let's use that. Okay. Now the actual UI, I want. Well, this is already what's displaying, so let's just make sure it's the EOA public address here. EOA public address, copy, paste, paste, and here is the EOA balance. Okay, so there's not going to be any change at all, except now the querying works. We're still missing the UI for the actual smart contract account display and the balance, and we want to do that in here. So. Because the copies are going to copy the smart contract one, let's put the smart contract one up. And for the balance, same orders. Smart contract and then the EOA balance as well. So, smart contract. Before we display it, we actually have to get the smart contract account. So let's do that. I'm also going to want to pass that into use effect. So we'll do const get smart contract account address. It's a mouthful, but let's make sure we know exactly what that's doing. Use callback. Thank you. And in here, we're going to pull in the smart client from the use Alchemy provider hook that we've created. Did I bring it in? I don't think so. So let's bring it in. Import use Alchemy provider, and then const. Thank you. There we go. So that smart client is what we're going to need here. So we'll do if smart client. Oh, I'm tempted. I did it. I just pressed tab and I got it. I don't know if that's exactly what I'm supposed to do here. So if smart client const address seems right. Let's look at the AlchemyKit documentation. Smart client is actually not get public address. Hence, this quickly. Count address. Okay, and don't need that. And let's get argument of type or undefined. Undefined is not assignable to that. Okay. Yeah, it's not going to be undefined. And here we'll pass in smart client, and then we'll run this and then use effect. Use effect. All right, and then in here we'll call it. Boom. Console log. Smart contract public. Oh wow! It knew what I wanted to do. That's crazy. It knew. Okay. So here. Boom. All right. So The EOA wallet is 0x8ACA, and the smart contract account public address is 0x77. So it's been created. The smart account has been created, and the magic EOA is the signer. So let's display it. All right. What are we gonna do? Let's go to the bottom here. We have to mess around with this a little bit. It's looking like this, and this is where it's happening. So here, let's do EOA wallet, and no double quotes. Okay. Yes, EOA wallet. Okay, great. And I wanted the smart contract account on top. There's a copy button. And we'll do SCA. We'll do SCA. Copy. Great. Not a big fan of this being stuck together. That works very nicely. Okay. And what we'll do is we will let's just redo this. Here, over here, we'll do SCA. Great. Yeah, different accounts. I've already played with this, as you can tell. So that's why there's some test ETH in there. Let's see, and I'll do the same thing. Div, class name. What the heck? Down here. Oh, that's why. Div, class name. We'll do the exact same stuff. We'll use flex call cat2. Down here, div, and we'll push this out. Okay, so good. Hopefully you guys can tell the smart contract wallet and the balance. This corresponds top and bottom. The EOA and the bottom one is the EOA wallet and the balance. Okay, so let's test it. I'm gonna copy. This should be the smart contract account. I'm not gonna press copy. I'm gonna go to MetaMask. I'm going to send to it one Sepolia. And I'm gonna send, and we'll wait. While we wait, let's click refresh. Oh, that was quick. Okay, so it got into the smart contract account. That's perfect. So the copy works great. Let's do the same thing with the EOA. For this one, I will send it 0.5 so we can differentiate just a little bit. Okay, so the smart contract wallet, you know what? I'm actually going to write smart contract balance. So it's easy to tell, and the same thing with the EOA side. EOA balance. Okay, much easier. And refresh. Oh, I didn't click confirm. Okay, so it's sending. So there you have it. We have a smart contract wallet address and the EOA wallet address provided by Magic, and the smart contract account balance and the EOA balance. Refresh. There you go. All right, and we're doing that with Veeam now. No Web3.js. However, there's still the send transaction part. So let's take care of that next. Okay, so closing this out. Send transaction. I actually think we should have two cards. We should have a card that's send EOA, and I'm already on this one, so let's just change it here. This one should be send EOA transaction. Okay, and then we should create an exact replica. Let me just change this. Send EOA transaction. And I'm gonna copy all of this. I'm gonna create another one in here. I'm gonna name this send SCA transaction card.tsx. And just copy everything in here. In here, let's make this send SCA transaction. Send SCA, and oh yeah, I gotta change that. EOA. EOA. Okay. Let's rename this to send EOA. Okay, save that. Yes. And let's look for those dashboard. Okay, cool. So send EOA transaction. Okay, nothing broke. Great. And then I'm gonna do the exact same thing. SCA first. Here, I'm gonna do SCA. We'll pull that in. Now we should have two. Yes, there's 1 and 2. Let's name the SCA transaction card up here to be send SCA transaction. So now we have 2 cards, okay? This is good. This is very good. All right. Let's work on the EOA transaction card first. And what do we got to do here? First, get rid of Web3, and we're going to bring in the wallet client. That's what we need to send transaction. And I'm not sure if we'll need to send public client yet, but we'll bring it in for now. Okay, let's bring in the stuff that we need for VM. For Veeam, I don't know how you call it, Veeam or VM. Import some helpers. You'll notice that for the Web3 stuff below, like there's is address here, and then two-way. So we'll bring in the equivalent for Veeam. Is address and parse from Veeam and the chain. Sepolia from Veeam chains. Okay. All right. So in here, because we've separated EOA and SCA, we can keep all the use state stuff similarly, right? Set to amount, disable the hash, address error, amount error. Public address for the EOA we can leave because somewhere in the code we are setting the address to local storage. We can just pull that down the same way. Send transaction. We're going to check if it's address or not, right? So is address the to address? Is it a 0x address? We don't want to send it to a phone number, right? So that's what that is. This can stay the same. This is good. And all of this essentially is what we're going to be replacing. And we're doing that with Veeam. So first, let's, this is not making an async function. Sync await wallet client dot send transaction. And in here, we pass a few things like the chain, Sepolia. The account is the public address. The to is the to address. And the value is parse the amount. And that's good. It returns to us a hash. What's up with this? Not assignable type string or null is not assignable type. Blah 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 blah. Well, this is going to be as a 0x string. Okay, great. And then if hash. Well, let's set hash to hash. And it did it for me. Okay. Set to address and set amount back to empty strings. Just like down here, the show toast is going to be reused. That's fantastic. And then the receipt. Web3 send transaction, it returns a receipt. So the Veeam equivalent to this, there is a similar, like kind of like a listener. It's await public client. Okay, so I am going to use public client. Wait for transaction receipt. and that takes the hash. And I should put this inside. There you go. Okay. And this is going to return the receipt. And once that's available, let's print it. All right. And finally, set disabled. Do set disabled false. All right. Let's get rid of all this and put that in there. What am I missing? Public client. Okay, perfect. All right, so it seems like so far the EOA transaction card stuff is going to be good to go. Let's test that right now. I'm going to get my MetaMask wallet address, post it in here, give me my 0.51 back, 0.51, and send transaction. Transaction successful. Did I not print any of that stuff? If hash. Oh, I didn't. Okay. Well, let's see if I got my receipt back. Refresh. Nope. Okay. So let's go to this and click and see if this went through. As you can tell, I've been messing around quite a bit. From to. Okay, so it got in. Doesn't seem like it left. Oh, no, it did 15 seconds ago. Okay. There's a transaction receipt. Okay, so now the EOA balance should be zeroed out effectively. Okay, so that worked. Add prints, otherwise you'll be confused for a few seconds. All right, now I want my Sepolia ETH from the smart contract account. And so let's work on the smart contract side of things. It's going to be similar. From here, we bring in, do we need? No, we don't need this. You can get rid of that. What we will need though is a smart client. And we bring this in from use Alchemy provider. Okay, and then the two addresses the same, the amount's the same, the disabled hash, two address, amount error, that's all gonna be the same, except this we don't need, because we don't need the EOA wallet address. And so, send transaction, it's gonna be the same thing here. We're still checking if the two address is address, okay. Still checking if number's a number. Set disabled, keep that. And again, all this stuff is what we're going to replace. So I'll comment this out for now, and let's start getting it ready. It is not the same as an EOA. So if you look at the AlchemyKit SDK, when you create a smart account client, there are some methods on there. And in this case, it's going to be, well, first let's call smart client, and then send user operation, and on it, in it, we'll pass some things. We'll await it, and that means we should make this an async function. This will return to us a hash, and in here we pass in user operation parameters. It is the target, which is a to address. The data, because it's a user operation, it'll just be an OX. And then the value, same, parse, we'll have to parse. Yeah, let's just call it in parse, ether, amount. So, that's gotta come in. Parse, ether. Okay. And then inside the user operation, we're going to pass in the account as well. There's a way to hoist it, but I'm not going to get there. I'm just going to pass it in each time. So smart client, the way to get the address is smart client dot account. Okay, and let's get rid of those squigglies. I'm not a fan of squigglies. All right, this should be enough to send, but let's finish it off. If hash set hash. All right, I'll use this. Let's pass this up. All right, what's up with the red? Argument of set user operation is not a set of the current set, a string set. Set hash. Set user operation result is not okay. String. Result. Set hash. Boom. So we'll do that or string. Bring it in. We bring that in from Alchemy. See, import. Send user. Not from being Alchemy, but Alchemy. AA core. Okay. Boom. So it's the hash. Then we're going to set it. Then we're going to zero out the amount, zero out the address. We'll show the quick little toast there. This time I actually want to console log something because otherwise I'll sit there waiting. And then, gotta wait for the receipt. So smart client. There is, instead of send user operation after that, what you can do is to listen for it, you wait for user operation transaction and you pass in the hash of, I think this is called hash. No, it's hash. That's confusing. This should have been result. Let's get result. If result dot hash, then let's do then result dot hash. We'll do, this is not really a receipt, this is a transaction hash, and this should be result.hash, okay? And this is result.hash. And this is going to return a receipt. We'll await that. And then we can console log the user up transaction receipt. And down here, set disabled false. Transaction hash. I should put user up transaction hash. Okay, we can get rid of all this now. And let's get rid of all this. Thank you. I want to send 1.01 because I want all my tests to be back. And we're going to send. All right, so what's this? RPC request error, URL, edit code, pre-fund below, actual gas cost. Okay, well then I'll set the gas policy. I will set the gas policy. All right, so what's that mean? This is another parameter you can pass into it. Gas manager config. and I set this up inside the AlchemyKit, Alchemy account, Alchemy, whatever you call it, Alchemy dashboard, policy ID, and what this is, in the gas manager, I have monthly limits, okay? And I've created one, and I have my policy ID here. Let's create a new one here. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna pass this in. If I do that, hopefully it uses the gas from here, from this policy. I played around with it like 2 weeks ago. So let's try this out now. Start over, I'll refresh. Let me get the public address elsewhere, pass that in here, send 1 ETH, and let's go to console. Pull this down and send transaction. Okay, so I guess it seems like Alchemy followed my gas or something, or I didn't use my gas policy ID. So if you don't set up your own gas gas configuration, you might not get to use it much, right? So there you go, transaction hash, transaction receipt. If I refresh this now, great. I will post all links to this that I've used to do this. I hope you found this helpful, and we are looking forward to the amazing things that you guys will build. So thanks for taking the time to follow along. Bye.